Welcome to the another video of the DC-DC boost converter. Here we talk about the discontinuous conduction mode. Let the pulse given to the switch over here S, this is the switch. The pulse that is given to the switch, let it be given in the turn on time, it is high, and during the off time it is low. And like this the pattern continues. And let the switching time is Ts, and on time it is up to D times of Ts, where D is the duty for which the switch is on, so we can say T on by Ts. Now when we talk about discontinuous conduction mode, let us draw the value of VL that we have already discussed. The value of VL is equals to VD during the on time. During the on time, the value of VL is the voltage across the inductor with plus and minus sign. It is on. During the on time, this value is VD. Now the value of this VL during the off time is the minus of VD minus V0, and as the polarity also get reverse, so we get with the negative value, the magnitude is VD minus V0, and this is VD minus V0 over here. We observe that this value is VD minus V0, and the turn off time is little bit of lesser than Ts, lesser than till the time of Ts. It is, before that it is 0. So that means that we can say the turn on time duration, the on time duration is here D times of Ts, and the off time is delta 1 Ts, and the other time is delta 2 Ts. If we take the Ts is the switching time, it is off for the time Ts. Now the current is 0 before the time of 1 minus dTs, before the off time. If we say this is the off time and this is the on time, so current is 0 before the off time, that means it is a purely discontinuous conduction. So let us draw the current waveform. The current, this current is rising and reaching to some value, and it comes down to 0 at the time delta 1 Ts. So this is the value of IL represented in the discontinuous conduction mode. Now if we equate the integral of the inductor voltage over one time period, then we can write that during the turn on time it is VD into dTs, and during the turn off time it is VD minus V0 into 1 minus D times of, not 1 minus D times, this is a change over here, that is delta 1 times of Ts. This is the off time, delta 1 Ts is equal to 0. In the first video we have discussed that how we get this relation, and here we are just taking the assuming that the inductor is in one complete cycle, the energy whatever is absorbed is released, and VD into the turn on time is dTs is equals to minus of something or plus of VD minus V0 del 1 Ts is equal to 0. So from this we get a relation like this. Rewriting the entire equation, we get it in this form: VDD plus VD minus V0 delta 1, and then solving we get the value of V0. Obviously this V0 is a boost converter in the discontinuous conduction mode also. V0 is D plus delta 1 VD by delta 1. Now here our objective is to evaluate the value of delta 1 in terms of D and find out the complete equation. And since we know that V0 I0 is equals to VD ID, that is the input power VD ID is equal to output power. So we can substitute this relation and get the value of I0. So let us write this as V0 I0 is equal to, let us substitute the value of VD here, delta 1 V0 by D plus delta 1 ID. It is very simple. So we get the value of I0 here. Obviously I0 is the buck, the current is decreased. So I0 is delta 1 times of ID divided by D plus delta 1. And just to recall, in the continuous conduction mode or just continuous conduction mode, we are having this relation V0 is equal to 1 by 1 minus d Vd and I0 is equal to 1 minus d Id. Now in case of discontinuous conduction mode, this delta 1 is coming into picture, and that is a question mark. If we get the value of delta 1, then entire thing we can put it over here and we can solve it. Now in this figure, this current over here is IL. The current over here is IL, which is same as the ID. So ID is the average current in the input and IL is the average current of inductor. So we know that we can find the average current of the inductor, we can calculate, and that is equal to the input current ID. Now to calculate the average current here, we can to calculate the average current of this area of a triangle, we can find that average current. So IL average is equals to half, we can say this is a triangle, half base into height. So this is equal to D plus del 1 times of Ts into the height, and height is obviously del IL, and this average value is multiplied with the Ts. So this Ts and this Ts cancel out. So now we can write IL average is equals to half of D plus delta 1 times of the current triple del IL. Now we can write the value of the del IL here. We can write the value of del IL by V is equal to L di by dt. So del IL, this is a rough work we can do here. So I can write here del IL is that what is the ripple here is equal to during the on time, the value is Vd and the time duration is dTs divided by L. So we can write del IL is equal to this. So we can write here, okay, this IL average, that is nothing but ID is equals to IL average is equal to half D time D plus delta 1, and del IL is Vd dTs by L, and which can be further written as 1 by 2L, or we can write here Vd Ts by 2L D times of D plus delta 1. That is the value of ID. So from the above equation, this and this is, let us say, 1 and this is 2 and this is equation 3. From equation 2 we can take the value of I0, and I0 is equal to, substitute the value of ID from here to equation 2, and we get here I0 is equals to del 1 by D plus del 1 into ID. So once I substitute the value of ID, this D plus del 1 will cancel here, and ultimately what we get is Vd into Ts by 2L d times of del 1. So now we are getting an expression of I0 in terms of VDTS by 2L d times of del 1. So del 1 can be separate out. Now this I0B max is equal to 2 by 27 V0 Ts by L. This is already there. So it is rewritten, and this value is fixed because I0B is the boundary value and boundary condition. So this is a constant value. So here I0 is mentioned and I0B is there. So we try to take the value of Ts by L, switching frequency, switching time, and divided by the inductor value. And this value is substituted here, Ts by L. If we substitute this value over here, and Vd by 2 d del 1 is here, so now we get 27 by 4. This Vd by V0 is taken common, taken together, and I0V max into d and del 1. Again, the I0 by I0V max is taken separate. So this can be taken on the left hand side, I0 by I0V max divided by here 27 by 4 and Vd by V0 dot d. So this is the value of del 1. Now we can write that since V0 is equal to d plus del 1 by del 1 into Vd, this is a boost converter, so output voltage is higher than Vd. So here we will substitute the value of del 1 and try to write an equation. Now this V0 is equal to d by del 1 by del 1 into Vd, that can be rearranged in terms of del 1 by t plus del 1 is equal to Vd by V0. Here, as we remember that V0 is constant and Vd is variable, and we are trying to maintain the output voltage constant by varying the d is the duty cycle. So this thing is being again rewritten by taking it on the up, and d plus del 1 by del 1 is equal to V0 by Vd, and writing again we get this term. So now this term can be rewritten finally as d is equal to, so this term will be V0 by Vd minus 1 into del 1. So del 1 is here I0 by I0B max whole divided by 27 by 4. This is Vd by V0 into d. So we can rewrite this, and we can get a finally rewriting this again equation over here. So we can write this, d will come here on the left hand side, d square is equal to 4 by 27. This is 4 by 27 dot, this is the Vd by V0 will be V0 by Vd, and this term is written as it is I0 by I0V max. This is d square, and we can have a conclusion from here that d need to be varied if we want to keep the V0 constant. So if Vd is the input voltage which is changing because of the I0 is the average current in the load, and I0B is the maximum value. I0B max is the bound for the boundary condition, whatever the value of I0B max, that is a fixed. So here I0 is the variable. So we can have a understanding over here. I0 is a variable, and Vd is that it change because of the supply may be given through the AC to DC rectifier, and this Vd is changing. So we need to adjust the value of here d, where d is the root over of entire term. So we need to adjust the value of d so that V0 is remaining constant. So this term is remaining constant. We will try to plot the curve. So here we rewrite the equation of d here in terms of 4 by 27, 1 minus Vd by V0. So we try to write here in terms of Vd by V0, and let us say V0 is the higher value. So V0 is greater than Vd. So obviously when we take Vd by V0, this is the lesser than 1, maybe 0.8 or 0.5 or 0.3 we take a different values of Vd by V0, and here we write in terms of 1 minus Vd by V0 by Vd by V0 whole square. So, and I0 by I0b is the current ratio. So I0b max is the boundary value, which is a constant. So I0 is the only thing which is going to vary here. So in the x-axis, the I0 in the per unit, it has been converted because I0b max is the maximum value. So we are changing the value of I0 gradually from, like, let us say 1. So whatever the value, let us say this is the x and this d is the y. So y is equal to root over of x. It is in this term. If all the terms are nearly constant, so we are getting this term. And also we know that if we have a curve like y is equal to x square, so it is like the curve is look like this. And we can also have like y is equal to root over of x, it is x is equal to y square, so we'll have a curve in the opposite fashion. So we'll get a curve in this opposite fashion over here. Y is equal to root over of x because d is equal to root over of some constant in x, where x is this in per unit in decimal number, which is changing. And 1 minus Vd by V0, that is also changing. But if we keep the Vd by V0 fixed at certain value, let us say 0.5, so 1 minus 0.5 will be 0.5 divided by 0.5 square, this is 2. So everything is getting constant, and we are getting d proportional to I0. So we can say d is proportional to I0 root over if all the terms are constant, if Vd by V0 is held constant. So let us draw the curve over here. So here, if we take the value of Vd by V0 as 0.8, so less boost is there. And if we go for Vd by V0 as 0.5 or Vd by V0 is equal to 0.25, the duty cycle need to be increased. And we can get here the value of Vd by V0 when it is less, because V0 is greater than Vd, and if the difference is less, so duty cycle need not be very high. And once the current is increasing, in terms of per unit greater than I0b max, so obviously this is a continuous conduction mode. So we can get a boundary between a continuous and discontinuous conduction mode in this fashion, and we can get a curve like this, so that distinguish between this side as discontinuous and this side as continuous. The reason is, if the value of I0 is lesser, obviously it is coming under discontinuous. If the value of I0b is greater than I0b max, so it is coming under continuous. And also there will be a variation if the output voltage V0 is greater than, much greater than, V0 is greater than Vd, and that is why this is, if the difference is that is Vd by V0 is lesser, like 0.25, then the duty cycle we can see that it is rising to a higher value of 0.75, and then we get a constant. Like once it is reaching a continuous conduction, so we are getting a constant line. So similarly, we are getting a constant line in the continuous conduction mode. That is, we are not changing the duty cycle anymore. In the discontinuous conduction mode, there is a linear rise in the value of the D to maintain the value of I0 constant. And thus completes the DC-DC boost converter. And where we discuss about DC-DC boost converter, then we discuss about in boundary condition, and we discuss here with the discontinuous conduction mode. Thank you very much.